Hi, my name is Neil Currant. I'm currently Project Officer and soon to be ePortfolio Lecturer at the University of Bradford, and we've been using the PebblePad ePortfolio system and we're just entered our second year of using it. And the main reason for using ePortfolios for CPD would be we had the system for students, we had it for teaching and learning, we wanted to roll it out in as many different ways as possible. So really it was just a case of seeing if we could do it.
My name is Susie Peacock and I work at Queen Margaret University in Edinburgh and I'm the Senior Lecturer for e-learning. The ePortfolio system we use is PebblePad and we've used it now for about 3 years. We started using ePortfolios at Queen Margaret because we were part of the R project. This is a Scottish Funding Council project whereby people were exploring the use of ePortfolios for learning and teaching and PDP. And what happened is that we've got lots of people who are now starting to use it in the learning environment. Some of them are also using it for their own PDP, and some of them are using it for CPD as well.
I'm David Eddy. I have two hats, I guess, at the university. I'm course leader for an MSc in Radiotherapy Oncology, and I'm also a teaching fellow for distance learning within the faculty itself. The main stimulus for using it for staff CPD has been, in team meetings we've talked about the fact that we spent a lot of time embedding PebblePad and ePortfolios within our undergraduate and postgraduate courses, that we felt from a staff credibility point of view it seemed strange that we might not actually be using it for our CPD when we're encouraging students to do that and we're training students to do that for CPD as well. So that was one of the arguments in terms of why we decided to start using it for staff CPD. The second one is we have an incentive because all of our staff group, although we work in education, are still members of professional and statutory bodies, because we're all therapy radiographers by background, so we have professional and statutory body CPD requirements, so that's a driver as well. And because as a course team we deliver a lot of e-learning, distance learning courses, it seems a natural fit that we should actually use ePortfolio for staff CPD. The other thing that made us think about moving down this route as well is that the university at the moment is planning to introduce a professional development framework for staff, and the use of this ePortfolio would obviously fit nicely within that remit. But kind of looking forward as well, we're also looking at ways in which we can integrate staff CPD with quality and validation mechanisms that we have, so that staff will see things like where you review a module and you do a module evaluation, that they would actually see that as CPD activity, so it wouldn't just fulfil quality requirements, but they would utilise it perhaps to evidence CPD as well.
I'm Phil Vincent and I'm the IT Staff Development Officer at York St John University. We're currently piloting the PebblePad ePortfolio system. The stimulus or interest for using PebblePad to record CPD activity really is based around sort of professionalising our current system, our current method of recording and feeding back CPD taking place. We'd like to sort of more closely monitor and review current CPD activity, and where appropriate share our CPD activity across the institution, so allowing members of staff to partake in CPD activity and then come back to the institution with feedback as to what it is they've done, any attendance at conferences and events, things like that. We'd also like to gain an insight into the types of CPD that's going on and identify possible trends, if there are any. We'd like to formalise the process so that we get a sort of a return on investment for the institution, so staff come back and feedback what they've done for the CPD. And it'll also be a good way to benchmark where we are at the moment and then measure distance travelled for members of staff from when they join the institution or from when they start recording their CPD activity.
I'm Sarah Chesney and I'm a Senior Lecturer in e-learning at the University of Cumbria. I'm also Project Manager for the Jisc funded Flourish project, which is looking at using an ePortfolio for staff CPD. We first started using ePortfolios with a small number of students through the FilePass project, which was a Jisc funded project led by UCLAN. And what seemed to be emerging was that staff were not very familiar with an ePortfolio themselves, and this had an effect on how the students used it and whether they engaged or not. So the stimulus for using ePortfolios for staff development was largely based on the recognition that if they're going to be confident users of an e-portfolio system with their students, they really need to have had first-hand experience of using it by themselves for their own CPD.